What's up guys, it's Alex here, your friendly reef dog, and today is time for another update on the Red Sea Reefer Peninsula 500. Before I get into that though, I just want to say welcome to all of my new subscribers. So far this year the channel has been growing at a rate of about 500 subscribers per month, so thanks for all you newbies, and if that's not you yet, I put out a video like this every Friday at 4 PM UK time, which is 10 AM Central Time. So if you love reefing videos, hit that subscribe button for more. Right, now on to the update then. Let's take a look. Now in my last update, I'd got through a few problems with my SPS and everything was just starting to stabilise. And since then, it feels like things have really taken off. So I wanted to show you how much some of my corals have grown and tell you about some of the things I've done that have contributed to the tank improving. So let's get straight into the growth. Unsurprisingly, my zoas have grown the most, and that's particularly the case with my speckled rainbow zoas. This colony is one of a few projects I'm working on. I love corals that spread out over the rock surface, and I'm planning on getting a few different varieties of encrusting type corals to grow on certain rock structures. This started life as a stick of real reef rock with just 2 zoa polyps. I had thought the zoas would stay close to the stick, which would have given it a really nice, albeit slightly phallic, shape. But they've ended up spreading like crazy and stretching out over the base to make this massive colour, which to be fair is probably a better look than a massive zoa cock. And it still looks pretty awesome. The beauty of having zoas isolated on their own rock is that they shouldn't take over my rock work and will be easy to frag, as I can just pull the rock out of the tank and snip away. My jackolantern lepto saris is another encrusting coral that's grown out nicely and has just started to spread over its frag plug. This is an absolute beauty of a coral. It's easy to keep, relatively cheap to buy, and looks stunning, particularly under blue lights. Now in this case, the growth has really taken off lately, and I'm hoping that will continue. One of my other coral projects is this sunset montipora. Sunset Monty is another belter of a coral, and looks great on the contours of rock when you can see its red base as well as the green polyps. This guy started out as just a few tiny pieces and has absolutely boomed of late. At this rate, it should only be another 6 to 12 months before it completely covers the rock it's on. I've also had some interesting behaviour from my clowns lately, and I think they're trying to find somewhere to lay eggs. They've been doing the whole vibrating next to the sandbed thing too, although I haven't been able to catch that on film yet. Now the chances of me raising the fry are minimal, but it's still pretty cool, and I take it as a sign that the tank is healthy. Having fish breeding in your aquarium is another fantastic part of this hobby, and it makes you feel like you've created conditions your fish can thrive in. So what's brought about this upturn then? Well, I've started a refugium that's growing Cheeto much better than my algae reactor was, and that means I'm processing more nutrients, which is very much a good thing. I haven't added any fish for about 3 months, so that's helped stabilise the bioload. I currently have 21 fish in total, and that's approaching capacity, but I've definitely got space for a few more. My approach to stocking fish is that you're fine so long as your filtration can cope with the bioload, the fish have enough space to swim and hide, and aggression is minimal. My next target is a Japanese swallowtail angel. Now I mentioned this guy in my top 7 fish you didn't think of video recently, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. So what else have I done? Well, I've committed to weekly water changes of around 15%, I've maintained a fairly low alkalinity of 7 DKH, and I've started dosing iodine. Iodine in particular seems to have made a real difference. My Sunset Monty colours have improved noticeably since I started dosing iodine, and my zoa growth has gone absolutely mental. Problem with iodine though is that home test kits aren't any good at measuring it, so you have to rely on ICP tests. I've had 3 ICP tests come back telling me to dose iodine, so I've started doing so slowly. But I do need to send off another one to make sure I'm not putting too much in. I'd like to get to the stage where I'm dosing a small amount daily so it's more stable, but I'll take it slowly on that front. As for new additions, I've also added to my rock flower anemone garden recently. But not for the first time. This guy decided he didn't like where I'd put him, so he went for a bit of a stroll. Now removing an anemone from a rock without damaging its foot is nigh on impossible, so I'm lucky this guy ventured onto the sandbed. I then put him back where I wanted him to be, only in a slightly more shaded spot. He still edged back a little, but we're now 24 hours in and he's staying put. I've also added a handful of SPS frags, now everything seems to be stable. And I plan to keep adding frags whenever I come across good ones. For now, I'm trying to stick with tank grown corals rather than wild caught, The theory being that a tank grown frag will be more hardy, but sometimes there are shiny things in my local fish shop that I just can't resist. So we'll see how long that lasts. So that's where I am at the moment. I'm really pleased with the recovery and I'm now hopeful that I can push on. I'll show you the new SPS frags in closer detail when they've grown out a bit, and I'll update you with any new livestock I add. I'm also looking at more equipment. I've heard great things about the Clarity roller filter, so that's high up on my list. The Red Sea Reefer V3 sump is a little awkward for these, as you'd have to remove the filter sock unit, but it doesn't look too difficult, so watch this space. So that's how the tank is looking at the moment then. Before I leave you, I'm going to put 2 minutes of uninterrupted footage of the tank up, so stick around for that. And if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for future content. And in the meantime, check out some of my other videos. Until next time then, I've been the Reef Talk. Thank you, good night.